Today's video, we're going to be going over 5 players to let your idiot league mates draft instead of you. First up on my list, I have Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is an amazing player. The dude's one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league. But because of that, he has an extremely high draft price. Like, you're going to have to pay a first or second round pick for Josh Allen in most leagues, especially like home leagues. So I feel like that's way too high, and let one of your idiot league mates draft him instead of you, because you're just not going to see the return. I feel like quarterback is way too deep this year, and drafting Josh Allen that early is just not worth it. Number 2 on my list, I have Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas used to be the number 1 receiver in fantasy. Dude was a stud. He had Drew Brees. Everything was going for him, and then he started just getting hurt constantly over and over and over. So I feel like drafting Michael Thomas is too big of a risk. If you draft him and he has a season like he did the past couple of years, you're not even going to get any points out of him. So I don't feel like he's a good return on investment. Number 3 on our list, we have Odell Beckham. Odell is looking great in OTAs. The Ravens actually released a video of him today, and they asked him how he felt, and he said he felt super fast. So, he might come back and have a great year, but to me, it's too risky with his ACL tears and him having Lamar Jackson at quarterback. I wouldn't want to waste a 3rd or 4th round pick on Odell if you're not even going to get anything from him, because Lamar's going to be running the ball, 60% of the time. So that one's kind of iffy for me. Some people might have him higher. He's on my do not draft list. On our do not draft list is Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara had a horrible year last year. He was down on all of his numbers. It wasn't really his fault, I feel like. I feel like the Saints just didn't utilize him the way they should have. Poor quarterback play mixed with scheme just didn't go well for him at all. I think Kamara is still an elite player. I think he could, bounce back and have a good year. But the reason he's on my do not draft list this year is because of the fact that he's dealing with all the legal accusations, so he might miss a lot of time. So even though he's a great player, he's someone you should let someone else draft in your league and have that kind of anxiety, because your return on investment, if you draft him in the 3rd round, he doesn't even play, you might lose your league because of it, because leagues are won in the middle rounds. So number 5 is Mike Evans. Mike Evans is one of those players like we were talking about that is an elite player. The guy has 1,000 yards almost every single season. Like, he's statistically just there every single time. Kind of like a Nick Chubb for running back. Like, what you're going to get with him. He's going to give you points. He's going to give you this. But that was with Tom Brady. Now you're looking at Baker Mayfield coming in. And I don't know if you guys have seen what Baker Mayfield has been doing in OTAs, but it's kind of horrific. Like, him in his quarterback battle, they're throwing it to ghosts. Like, dude's just lasering balls over people's heads, and it's just sad to see. So I'm scared it's going to be another situation like Baker Mayfield when he was with the Browns, having Odell. Like, Odell's just standing there wide open, praying that he gets the ball, and he's not even being seen. So that's what scares me about Mike Evans. I wouldn't use a 2nd or 3rd round pick on him like most people would. And that concludes our 5, but I'm going to throw in a flyer that I was thinking about while I'm sitting here. And Davante Adams has won me 2 championships in our personal fantasy football league. He's my favorite receiver to draft because, he's a monster. But him being in Oakland this year scares me a little bit. I'd still draft him high. I don't know if I would draft him in the 1st round because of what's going on, but he's not happy with management. So be iffy when drafting Davante Adams, because you might see somebody sit out. That's just my personal call on it. I think he might try to get traded. So